Shalom Yidin. This week's Parashah is Parashah Chayei Sarah, and in the very first pasuk of the Parashah, it says that Sarah Imenu lived for 100 years, then 20 years, and then 7 years. Now it's a very interesting way to say that she died. She was nifter at 127. Rashi comes in and tells us that the Torah is trying to teach us that when Sarah was 100 years old, she was like a 20-year-old in respect that just like a 20-year-old is free of averos, they're not liable for any averos that they've done, therefore they have a certain purity. That was Sarah Imenu at 100 years old, free of any sin, and that had that same type of purity. Now, when she was 20 years old, it was like she was 7 years old in regard to physical beauty. Now, Rashi goes on to say, don't make a mistake thinking that, after 100 years old, that maybe she did some type of avera. When you add it all together, it was a life full of purity. Now, there's an interesting medrash that says, what actually killed Sarah? She heard from the Satan himself that Abraham was going to shecht Yitzchak. He was going to be brought as a korban, and she couldn't handle that, and she died on the spot. Which is really interesting. You have this woman who is pure. Her whole life, she had purity, and she went through the most crazy of tests. She was kidnapped by Paro, the king of Mitzrayim. She passed all of these different tests. But when she hears Abraham goes to shecht Yitzchak, that's what does her in. It's really because the Satan came and told her something she wasn't meant to know. The Satan gave her information that was really only meant for Abraham. That was Abraham's test. The whole Akedas Yitzchak was a test for Abraham, not for Sarah. So when Sarah heard a test not meant for her, she passed away on the spot. Hashem only gives us tests we could handle. That's why when there's anything in our life, just have that in mind, that we could pass it with flying colors. Now when Sarah Imenu, someone who was as pure as she was, heard that, she couldn't take it, and her neshamah left her body. But think about the greater message. What's the message? When you live a life with purity, you cannot be touched by anything on this earth. What did her in? Not something physical, not old age, not a sickness, none of that. What did her in? The Satan, something spiritual. It took the Satan himself to tell her information she wasn't meant to know. And that is what she couldn't handle, and that's why she died. It wasn't a test for her. As long as we live our lives with purity, we are untouchable, not only as individuals, but as a nation. May you all be zoicha to become pure, to become untouchable, and bring the geula. May you all have a beautiful Shabbat, and don't forget to stay inspired.